welcome to my first video for math lessons. Now, I haven't really done videos before, so I'm a little nervous about doing this, but I'm going to give it my best shot because I think it's going to help your children so much if they can just see how to do it. So in these videos, the first part where it's on me, I'm going to be talking to the parents, and then once I get to the actual math lesson, I'm going to be addressing the kids. For grade 3, in this class, we are going to start our multiplication division unit. Now, this is one of the reasons I love teaching grade 3 because I love introducing how to do multiplication. It's one of my favorite things to do in math, to teach in math. Now, each week, I'm going to show you and I'm going to show the students a different strategy for showing a multiplication problem. Now, I know in the past, it used to be that you would just memorize the timetables. And there's nothing wrong with the timetables. That's how I learned math. That's how a lot of people learn math. Even in grade 4, they bring it back to look for patterns on the timetables. The reason why we don't start off with it right away anymore is that, for example, if a student knows how to use the timetables to figure out 4 times 4 is 16, and then you ask them, why does 4 times 4 equal 16? They won't know. It'd be like bleed blob times Google Babble equals beef moth. And it just doesn't give the concept behind it. So in math, I first use strategies to kind of show them the concept of it so they can visualize it. And then after that, we can get to memorizing those facts to get them really fast. So first concept, and then the practical side of it of being able to answer it really quickly. So this week and next week, we are going to do the strategy, I can make equal groups. So we are going to send out an email tomorrow with different activities to do with that you can practice throughout the week. And I'm going to right now show in a video to the students how they can do it. And then on Friday, we'll show another strategy. And then the next week, another strategy. And eventually there's going to be, we're going to show all the strategies. Students are going to find ones that fit best for them, that they get the best. And then once they get that down, on to speed. So here we go. Welcome, grade 3s, to Ms. Andrews' lesson on I can make equal groups. Now, you are in for a very exciting treat because we are going to learn how to do multiplication. Now, in multiplication, you need to remember, what does equal mean? So for equal, I have a question for you. So I have 2 groups here. I have 1 group, I have 2 groups. In this group, I have 2 counters. In this group, I have 1 counter. Are they equal? No, they are not. They need to have the same amount. So I can either take away 1 and now they're the same, or I can put that back and I have another counter right there. So now they are equal groups. So if you know what equal groups are, you are ready for multiplication. Now, let's take a look at our first question. Let's say we have the question 5 times 2 equals blank. We need to figure out what 5 times 2 is. Now, the 5 over here is going to tell me that there's going to be 5 groups. So I need to make 5 groups. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, for each group, it says I need 5 groups of 2. So I'm going to need 2 in each group. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. All right, I have my 5 groups of 2. Are they all equal? Let's see, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. They are all equal. Now I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That would just take way too long. What would be a faster way? I'm going to use the strategy of counting by twos. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So I have 10 counters altogether. So 5 times 2 equals 10. Let's try another one. Let's try 4 times 3. Now the first number 4 tells me that I'm going to have how many groups? 4. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. How many am I going to need in each group? 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, I could count one at a time, but there's a much faster way to count, and that's counting by threes. So let's count by threes together. 3, 6, 9, 12. 12 all together. 4 times 3 equals 12. Let's try 3 times 1. The first number tells me there is going to be 3 groups. In each group, there's going to be 1. So 1, 1, 1. I have to count by ones for this one. So 1, 2, 3. 3 times 1 equals 3. Thanks for watching my video on how to make equal groups as a strategy for multiplication. Now, this lesson was for students who have never, ever, ever done multiplication before. If your child's already started on this a bit and already has some sort of grasp or idea of the concept multiplications, using this strategy to solve things like 1 times 2 might be a little painful. So I would try to get multiplication questions that are a little bit higher, like 5 times 5, and use the strategy for that, because they might already know the concept. Anything times by 1 is going to equal the same thing. A couple notes on where are you going to get questions to ask them to solve this. Well, first of all, I use the whiteboard, but just any pencil and paper will do fine to do this. For counters, buttons, if you have like a junk drawer that has a collection of bread tabs, coins, you can even use bigger objects like canned food. If you're stocked up on toilet paper, they would have a lot of fun making equal groups with those toilet papers. For the actual questions, I have a couple suggestions for how to come up with questions. The first is, if you have a deck of cards, go through it, take out all the ones except for the ace, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then they can just flip a couple cards over like that, and that can be what they use for their question. Another option is just getting 2 dice, or even 1 dice would do fine, and you just roll it twice. For the curriculum in Saskatchewan for multiplication and division, it does go up to 5 times 5, but they could figure out anything times by 6 using the strategy of equal grouping, or you can just tell them pretend the 6 is a 0. That's totally up to you. I'm also going to put down below a couple of links to virtual dice, dice that they can go on the computer and do that. I'm also going to give the link to math drills. That's where I get all my math questions for the weekly math draw sheets that my class gets. So I'm going to give you a few options if you want to, because I'd recommend practicing this just for a little bit every day, like 10 to 15 minutes, once they get a grasp of equal grouping. If you have any questions, just send me a message or an email. And thank you again for watching. Have a good one.